Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to today's video. We're gonna be jumping on the S14 today, mainly to get some progress done, but also I wanna give you guys an update because you guys just haven't seen this car in quite a while, and that's all been my fault, so I'll explain all that stuff today. We're making some good progress, so I'm really excited to show you guys what's been done. I showed you guys a few vlogs ago that we actually got a lot of our parts Cerakoted black, which is essentially this flat black coating on all of the intercooler pipings, the charge pipe, the radiator, the shroud, the turbo. It all looks really good. One of my biggest complaints with this car is that I'm not a fan of all these silver components or chrome components or polished components, especially when you have different parts from different companies. They all have a different type of polished silver, and it just drove me crazy. So we went ahead and got everything coated black, which I'm really hyped about. We had a weird turbo jump in size in couplers. We had a coupler to fit this 2 5/8. I think that's what it was. Diameter size on this intercooler piping, so that drove me crazy. So we ordered a vibrant cone adapter, and we were able to actually make this in-house with the help of Evan Beckerman and Mickey, so shout out to them. And it just really cleaned up the way this engine may look. We went to the ends of upgrading and switching turbo manifolds and switching to a new Garrett turbo. And I was like, man, we really have to make this thing look pretty. So all that's been dialed up and looks really good. Since then, we have also added our throttle cable, which was just a universal throttle cable that I got. It was a 60-inch, and Kevin and I recently installed that, trimmed it up, got it wired all the way up to the gas pedal, so that's looking mighty fine. Calvin right now is working on some of our wiring harness because we finally got our ECU in from Link ECU, which I'm very hyped about. Calv, what are you doing right now?
So while we've been working on this car, I've been quietly working in the background to get all this wiring done because it's a daunting task. I have to follow instructions and all of that good stuff. There's only a couple more wires I need to make, which is basically marrying the battery to the harness to the chassis harness so that everything plays together, making sure everything's plugged in, or else you won't be able to start the car.
Would you consider yourself a professional at this task?
I'm a chotch.
Well, we know that, but would you consider yourself a professional? Let's answer that together on 3. 1, 2, 3. No.
Absolutely not.
And that's one of the biggest things that I really want to emphasize. This is one of the, I don't know, I think second or first, definitely not our first, definitely our second car that we've actually done a motor swap on and have kind of trying to do everything ourselves. So a lot of these pieces are daunting and we're kind of learning as we're going, which is also really fun. But it's also cool to share that documentation with you guys. We've had so many projects going on in the past that I haven't really covered too much about this car, so I'm really going to try to cover as much as we can because we are actually not too far away from getting this thing loaded up on a base map tomb and starting it up. Before we dive any farther into this, I wanted to let you guys know that we are gonna have a Hunting Company sale this Saturday and Sunday. The sale is gonna be a little bit specific, but it's a great deal, so listen up. Our signature series sweatshirts, one of my favorite sweatshirts we have ever done. We have it in multiple colors. We are going to do a 40% off on those sweatshirts, and if you pick up one of those sweatshirts, you will get a free jet tag and a free lanyard. So it's a buy one, get 2 things for free essentially, and 40% off. So the sweatshirts are 40% off, and if you pick one up, you get a lanyard and you get a jet tag in your order for free. It goes live this Saturday and Sunday at thehuntingcompany.com. Links down below. I'll remind you guys a couple times this week, but I'm really excited for that sale coming up. So if you've held off or if you have a little extra change in the pocket, be sure to pick it up.
Did you show how much you did? Teach!
I was actually about to. I left a few of those things out. So one, we added a coolant overflow tank for the radiator. It took me a long time to find reservoirs that we could place and fit in this engine bay without sacrificing other things. For one, we used this Chase Bay power steering reservoir. This originally was supposed to mount over here. So Calvin, the fab guy, fabbed up this little bracket, relocated that to here. Yeah. But when doing so, we realized that a lot of people will make products for the radiator overflow to sit right here. So that didn't fit. So I was able to find another radiator overflow, and we also got that Cerakote that fit in this corner, so we used that. And then also we were running a catch can, so I found this one from True Focus Fab that fit in between the shock tower and the windshield wiper motor. A lot of kits delete the windshield wiper motor, which we are not doing, so really dope. I was able to make that fit. And then we trimmed up these lines that go into the side of the valve cover. And the valve cover, we pulled out the plung, we tapped it, put an AN fitting on there, so that looks really good. Excuse this jet that's flying above us right now, America. Calvin and I are tag teaming today. He's working on some other stuff. I'm gonna be working on some other stuff. Right now, I am going to work on adding an O2 bung into the downpipe. Unfortunately, a bung?
Bung?
A bung? Yeah.
Well, like what kind of bung?
An O2 bung.
O2 bung hole.
A bung hole, yeah. I'm gonna add one of those. Unfortunately, the gentleman who made the exhaust forgot to add that. So I have to take all this apart, add that little sensor, and once that is in, I'm going to wire up the boost solenoid and try to get our vacuum routing for a wastegate today, which is right there. So hopefully that's the plan for today. I'm gonna work on that. Calvin's gonna work on that. Let's just jump right into it. Just got the hole drilled through. Now the bung fits inside the hole. I'm gonna go drop this off over on the fabrication side. Evan's welding stuff right now, actually, so he's quickly gonna throw this in for us. We can reinstall it back in the car. You're live,
I'm
pal.
live. So a beautiful thing that I noticed is that I want to reuse factory stuff as much as possible. Good thing we had a pile of garbage over there. I was able to steal the old terminal. And what happens is this is the peripherals. So the headlights, the windshield wiper, some other stuff. And I was able to reuse this, and now all I had to do is plug this in and reuse that, and bang!
So that attaches to the terminal, and those plug in through and just allows you to reuse. Oh, and you dropped it.
Distraction. This is our new connection from our alternator to our battery so that we can charge our battery. Simple stuff, easy clap. You wanna do this? Go put in a, what was your first mod, Teach? My first mod was a sound system. Yeah, sound system in a
My first
BMW.
mod ever was, I don't know, night shading, tinting taillights. I don't know.
Really? Was that your first mod?
I really don't remember. I'd have
on
to go
your
back.
BMW?
Well, the exhaust, I got done in a shop.
You worked on cars before we filmed.
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Just got the downpipe back, and we have our O2 bung in there. That's looking good. Now, while Evan was doing that, I was pretty much getting the routing done for the wastegate, and I was getting the routing done for boost solenoid. And unfortunately, I realized that I don't have enough vacuum line to run the wastegates. So I just ordered it on Amazon on free 1-day shipping. So it'll be here tomorrow. And also the boost solenoid mount I ordered as well, because I realized I didn't have that either. So both those pieces won't be here tomorrow,
Which means unfortunately I won't be able to route the wastegate lines to the boost solenoid, which is okay. So I'm just gonna leave this downpipe off for now. And what I am gonna do is I'm gonna just move into the next thing on our list. And that is one, I'm gonna throw in our drive shaft from ISR. We've had this just sitting in this could have gone in a long time ago, and it's just sitting in a box, and I wanted to get it off the ground. So I'm gonna install this drive shaft. Let's go ahead and throw it in.
Right now, what I'm doing is I'm putting, remember that red wire that I created? That's going from the battery to the starter, which is connected to the alternator. I'm just putting it on the back of the terminal and putting the bolt on. But off camera, while
I was doing the drive shaft, you just made a ground for the ground kit.
Yeah, so the ground kit comes with 5 points that you want to put on various parts of the motor, one onto the negative terminal of the battery, and then the big one goes to the chassis, which I just created. All I did was drill the hole, put a riv nut, M8 riv nut, and then bolted it to the car. Make sure to sand the area. You need metal to metal.
What a catch, dude.
I'm just doing things.
While Calvin continues to put the rest of the grounds on, I'm gonna move on to wiring the boost solenoid, because there's nothing else I can do with the vacuum line, so I'm just gonna do the wiring, which you guys know how I feel about wiring. This is gonna be just as basic as the LED Razor light whips, if you guys caught that vlog. Very simple stuff, and I'm gonna have a little redeeming quality today, because I finally have stuff that is appropriate
and is the right materials to be using. So let me explain to you my location thought process, and then I'll get back to making some good A+ work.
As I mentioned earlier, I ordered it's actually the same mount that I'm using on the RB26 Mustang. There's a little like universal boost solenoid mount kit that looks really nice. So this is about where I ordered that, and I'm gonna be mounting it with that. So this tape is just a placeholder of where I want it. This gives me really good location from turbo pressure, and this gives me really good location for the wastegate lines that also have to be ran. So I'm really happy with the location of this. It's accessible, it's out of the way, and I'm going to now be just wiring power and ground, which is awesome because this wiring specialties harness actually comes with a boost solenoid wire that I've tucked behind the motor, went behind the boost brake, and is sitting right here. So we have boost solenoid, and there is a plug that it came with, which is super nice, makes it look pretty sweet. So I just unplugged it, and it's just a positive and a ground. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna run these wires around the shock tower, something like this. This is the prettiest way I could think of it, or I could run it a little bit lower and tuck it out of the way, but either way, that will round the shock tower, and I'm gonna solder these wires together and plug it in, and that will be officially wired. And then we're gonna move on to, there's the train, you gotta love that train. And then I'm gonna move on to the O2 sensor. One little modification before we start this, I actually just had Mickey come over here because Mickey does a pretty good job with like wire tucking stuff, and I asked his opinion, and he actually just convinced me to put it on the back of the shock tower just so it's out of sight, out of mind, and it helps declutter this a little bit. So I like that a little bit more. We're gonna mount it back here, which also shortens the wire length that we need to do. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit of slack here, wire this up, and here we go.
One of the last sensors that we need to put is the intake air temperature sensor. We're gonna drill a hole in the back of this thing. It's an NPT thread, meaning that it is tapered. And we could just drill and tap a hole, which is what I'm gonna do, and then tighten that up. And we should get our thing in, plug it in, and we're one step closer to getting it started. Hole drilled, now all we gotta do is tap it.
As you guys know, it's no secret that Movement is my favorite men's watch brand, my woman's favorite watch brand, and men's accessory and eyewear brand. I have been wearing Movement for the past 5, 6, 7 years. I don't even know at this point, a really long time. And they have watches to suit all sorts of occasions, whether it's casual, business, or professional, and same goes for the females out there. Now, Movement has a new feature on their website that I wanna put you guys onto, and that is buying with their Klarna option. What it essentially means is you can buy now and pay later by splitting your payments up into 4 easy installments. And if you buy right now, you can get $25 off of anything over $100 if you buy something by the 21st. What that essentially means is you can buy something now, pay for it over the course of a couple months, plus get $25 off. That's 75 bucks for a $100 item. That's a pretty good deal. Head over to movement.com/TJ Hunt to automatically get 15% off at checkout, or head over to movement.com and use code TJ Hunt to get 15% off. Thank you so much to Movement for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to it. Now that the solenoid is wired up, I'm moving on to the wideband sensor. I'm not gonna install the downpipe with the O2 sensor in the back of the downpipe just yet because we're waiting on our vacuum lines, and it's gonna be a lot easier to route them without the downpipe in. But what I can do is assemble the wiring and get that set up. So what I just did is, here is the plug-in for the O2 sensor. I just routed it behind the motor, just like I did with the solenoid. And I know that it's gonna end up somewhere around here, so I'm just gonna leave it hanging there. And if you follow this back to the grommet, we can follow the wiring all the way back to the wideband sensor, which is sitting right here. Now, as you guys know, I like to have my cars kind of be super clean and a very basic interior. Now what that means is I just don't like aftermarket gauges. I don't really like anything to look different no matter how modified it is. Of course, we still have to run a wideband sensor. So what I typically like to do is I just kind of stuff these in the glove box. And if I ever do need to monitor it, I can just open the glove box and kind of watch my air fuel ratios. So right now we don't have the glove box in just because we're still mounting up the ECU, and we are still like gonna be putting in the heater core and stuff. So right now it's out, but we do know that it's gonna sit right here. So this wire is the wire that's running to the O2 sensor. And the next wire that we have to do is the plug that runs to power and ground for the sensor, so it actually can get power. And then shout out to Jimmy Oaks, because I was asking him where you're supposed to get the other information from, because depending if you're running Infinity or different systems, there's different places to wire it. But I just looked on the AM instructions, and Jimmy said usually there's one wire, just find something that says 5 volts. So after looking at this wire diagram, I found right here white analog plus 0 to 5 volts input. So that is our wire. So it is literally just one wire. I think this is correct. So I'm just kind of following what I've been able to research online. I'll have to double check all of this once the car is actually, like, we tried turning it on. But this wire will plug from our O2 sensor or our air fuel sensor. And then I'm gonna run power and ground to the battery. So I'm gonna make a connection for that. And then this white wire right here is going to connect to this. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I say that with a little bit of hesitation because, as I told you guys earlier, this is definitely a learning curve, and I'm outside of my comfort zone, which is cool because we're learning, but I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire this up while Calvin finishes the IAT. Sheesh.
Now that it's beautifully behind everything, we're gonna plug it in. Nice.
Wideband is crimped. Now we are making an extension for the power and ground. So we just stuck this through. Calvin is getting the length size that can be wire tucked. It can go to the battery, so we could tap off of that. And then we're gonna run this through. I'm gonna cut and trim the size, and then I'm gonna crimp it on the power and ground. And baby, in theory, that's it. These other ones, if I knew more information, I would tell you what. I think as for AEM, you can plug this into different like CAN systems and stuff, and it, I guess, gives you more options. I really just don't know. But we're gonna be using this wideband wire and everything else. Should be good. That was pretty quick, all things considered.
Wait, actually.
Huh?
We might want to wire it to key so that it turns off.
Want to update you guys a little bit because we actually did change the plan, but all the wiring is done. So here is the AFR, and it is wired one to the O2, which snakes up, and then it is wired to the wideband wire, and then we also have power and ground. So originally we were going to run this to the battery, and Calvin was like, wait, if you just run it to the battery, when you turn it off, it's always going to be drawing power, which would kill the battery over time. And we're running on the mini batteries, so we definitely don't want to do that. So Calvin was like, wait, here's the ECU relay. So Calvin just did some
This is switched.
mad scientist things.
We're just gonna, it's switched, so we're just gonna steal the switch power. Click.
Hopefully it doesn't cause any issues. I don't know if it will, but I guess
will.
that's how we roll here. We go, that's how we roll. We go off of I thinks.
Right.
So that should work. And then it's just grounded. I just did a little tether here, and it's grounded to the side of the chassis right here. So that's good to go. So now we're gonna install this ECU, and that should be a lot of progress for one day.
This is the very last part. Finally, the ECU could be hard mounted. We wanted to make sure that before all of this stuff, the glove box, the heater core is put back in, that every wire is plugged in and routed properly, because there's no way that you're doing this easily with those in there. Let's do this in the cubby.
This camera's about to die. Hopefully this clip lasts. I'll film it till the camera dies, everyone. And then I'll show you the next clip.
We'll get it.
Is it in? I don't know if it's in.
For the most part, it's in.
For the most part, it's almost there. Camera's gonna die any second. No. Look at that ground where I did.
Put a nut on that.
All right, I'll update you guys once it's in. I saw a lot of comments in the video where Sabrina was driving this, and then I was fixing that like lower side skirt fender portion. A lot of you guys missed this car, and a lot of you guys love making fun of me for these wheels, which I don't blame you because I'm not a big fan of them either. And I guess me just admitting that just gave you guys the fuel to make fun of me on them. But this car is gonna get a revival soon. I'm gonna rip the wrap off eventually, just when I have the time. I really miss the black paint. These jets are about to ruin this clip, so let's get inside. But this Supra will be making a comeback soon. Oh my gosh, Sabrina has the seat literally all the way up in the steering wheel. I miss this car dramatically, but it's just like not motivating to drive when it just looks like this. So I really want to make an effort to fix it. And we also have a bunch of like V2 Street Hunter parts coming out for this that I'm gonna want to throw on this car. So it's coming back soon. On my Instagram and on the YouTube comments, there was a lot of feedback that you guys were like, I missed that car. That car is sweet. It's coming. There's just a lot of things buttoning up right now, and we're about to do a lot of traveling. So I'm kind of trying to get some certain cars done and get progress on before moving to other things, because then I just create a bunch of things that are half done and you guys yell at me in the comment section for not focusing on one thing. But
It's coming back soon, I promise. I really want to give a little bit of a highlight to this Mark IV because this thing sounds so good with this Garrett turbo. Just listen to this turbo. I'm not sure if you guys can actually hear it over the car. Maybe if my windows are up, you can hear it a little bit better. Not really, but this car sounds amazing and feels amazing. As I told you guys, I recently got it tuned, and it has a lot more top end now, because originally I was just running it with no tune, and it was really just flat on top. But dude, this thing is sick, dude. I'm like trying to give a little bit of a gap here, but this guy in front of us is so slow, because I want to give you guys a little bit of a pull here, but here's rolling in the third. Watch how aggressive the wastegate gets. That's all this partial throttle too. Dude, this car rides so well. This turbo is so good. Just makes me want to get this Supra back on track. I told you guys this already, the wheels are literally being made right now, so hopefully just a few more weeks and this thing is back to normal. Damn, this thing is sick. If only it was black, had the front lip, and had the better wheels on. Man, I love this car. I keep saying it. It's coming back, and I keep saying it because I'm excited. I'm real excited. I just got out of the hot tub, had to relax from today, but before we end today's video, I'm gonna read...
Show them my swing.
Sabrina, they've seen your swing a million
Guys,
times.
have I ever showed you the swing?
Yes,
I'm proud of it.
you guys have seen the swing. Okay, I'm gonna read the top 3 comments from yesterday's video, and if you didn't catch yesterday's video, well, yesterday's for me, it was dropping the Lamborghini off at Sheepy Race for some reason. A lot of people commented about why you guys thought I dropped it off. Some of you were right, some of you were completely wrong, but let's read the top 3 comments. The first one is, the first one's not even about the Lambo. It literally says, this is from Eagle Bear Morgan. Sabrina absolutely roasting fools by accident, hilarious. I like debated about not keeping those in because I don't want it to ever seem like she's like trying to be like vicious or like mean, but she's just like...
I just have no idea what I'm talking about, genuinely. I just see something and I'm like, I either like that or I don't like it, and I just say it. I'm just real, which I'm sure a lot of you guys appreciate, okay?
She's very real and she doesn't really have a filter, so sometimes I'm like, ooh, is that aggressive? Should I leave that in? And next top comment was from Thomas Norman. Gonna start, cause this is a great comment.
Okay.
Gonna start calling her Sabrina F yeah with how much she's tearing rides apart.
Both the top comments are about
you.
Oh, you guys, I don't mean it.
We're actually gonna be flying out to Connecticut in a few days and we're gonna be spending a week with Tommy F yeah. So,
ooh, what are you doing?
Surprise collab coming, maybe? You guys probably didn't ever expect that to happen, but Tommy's become a pretty good friend of mine over the last few months, and you'll see. We're going out there. We have some business to take care of out there, so we're gonna be flying out to Tommy F yeah, so Sabrina F yeah for the win. Wow, they're all about you. All the comments are about you. The next comment is Sabrina, quotation, I'm not nervous. 10 seconds later, okay, let me close my eyes. LOL, love this channel.
Oh, that was fun. I did see
what are they talking about? Sabrina closing her eyes.
Talking about in the Razor. When I was like, I'm scared, but then I was like, ah, whole time.
Oh, I forgot I included the desert. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna read the 4th comment because it was again.
No, let's get to the G-Wagon comments. Let's get to the G-Wagon.
I'm either it's either getting sold or upgraded for the full 1,400 horsepower package. We'll see. So what about the 2,000 horsepower Mac Daddy package, baby?
They have a 2,000 horsepower Mac Daddy package.
They do, yeah. We all know what TJ's doing. As the boys at Donut Media would say, more power, baby.
Some people,
Okay, this next one from Leopoldo Lopez. I love seeing Sabrina and TJ ride the Razor and seeing wow, I don't know English, guys, I'm sorry. I loved seeing Sabrina and TJ ride the Razor and seeing how she is supporting his love for off-road and supporting him.
It was fun.
And him supporting her to assure her she's safe, speechless.
Do you speak English?
Apparently not. Def getting clutch and fuel system upgrade for more power, Robert. I can't hide anything from you guys. Damn. Anyways, those were like 6 comments about it. You guys, should I just change the channel name from TJ Hunt to Sabrina F yeah? Is that what it should be? Potentially, maybe? Comment down below. Change channel name.
No.
I think I can. If it would be cool, I would totally change my name to Sabrina Effia. If I could change it back to TJ Hunt without like, I don't know if it would alter any of the like analytics on the channel. Hashtag Sabrina Effia. There's also a bunch of comments about Whistle and Diesel potentially buying it, but guys gonna have to stay tuned on that one. Whistle came through and actually bought that. Congratulations either way. Can't wait to see what we do next. They're all this about you. All the comments about you. Oh, this is a cool one. Bagger Life said, TJ, I know it probably doesn't mean anything coming from a complete stranger, but I'm proud of you, man. You and Sabrina seem to really have a healthy, good relationship. A lot of people on our age can't imagine to keep.
Aww. Some people genuinely write the nicest things.
Sabrina's my boo.
What?
Sabrina's my boo. No, get out of the way. You in the
right.
back. You in the back. You the
What
pump.
if I just jumped to the floor right now?
You wouldn't. Okay, that's how I'm gonna end today's video. I am gonna be taking the RB26 to the drag strip tomorrow because we got called out by Saul from SOS. They just did a 1965 Mustang Coyote swap, and literally 6 months ago he was like, yo, I challenge you. RB26 versus Coyote swap Mustang, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna destroy you. Tomorrow we're gonna go to the track, put down a drag strip time, and see who wins this race once and for all. I will see you guys in that video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of the videos. Ooh, I almost was gonna give you guys a sneak peek into the Veilside RX-7, but I think I'm gonna wait another video or two. Sorry, I'll see you guys then. Peace out and keep moving forward.